Hey, doctors, liaisons, providers, welcome to today's live stream. My name is Mark Slater. Every Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm here to help you with personal injury marketing, uh, getting you out of your comfort zone, taking action to bring more personal injury patients to your practice. So again, my name is Mark Slater. I've been a practicing chiropractor since 1998, bought personal injury practices, started personal injury practices, sold personal injury practices, uh, managed them, marketed for them, got hired by spine surgeons to grow their personal injury business. So whether you're a chiropractor, orthopedic surgeon, neurologist, any provider in the PI space, I can help you grow a personal injury practice with common sense, practical marketing, and basically just getting you out of your comfort zone. Because nothing good happens in the comfort zone. So, like I said, I graduated in 1998 from Life College, opened my first practice in Birmingham, Alabama, where they said, you're not going to be successful. It's a good old boy network. Uh, they're not interested in you because they already have their connections and their doctors. Don't listen to that ever. It's horrible advice. They may have relationships, but those relationships are stale and they're looking for new ones, or they're not happy with their relationships. And they're waiting for you to take action, to step in and become the go-to doctor for their practice if you have the goods and know what it takes to grow a personal injury practice that costs $0 in digital marketing. Did you hear that? $0 in digital marketing. So hang out with me here for a few minutes. Maybe you want to hear about your hooks. What makes you stand out as a doctor or physician in personal injury? You got to know your hooks. So stay with me for about 5 or 10 minutes here, and we're going to get into those hooks to make you the go-to practice in personal injury. So let's talk about the 3 core fundamentals. And these fundamentals of personal injury marketing involve 2 things: massive volume and consistency. What do I mean massive volume? Most doctors that I talk to are busy marketing to their patient base for personal injury patients. You're going to get some patients that way very slowly, inconsistently, inconsistent months. You're never going to know when your next one's coming from because you're waiting for your patient base, a person who's a former patient, to get in a car accident. Pretty dark thinking. But here's the thing. The average person has 4 car accidents over the course of a lifetime. That's once every 18 years on average. Again, not a good way to market if you're just marketing to your patient base for car accident patients. The best way to do it is to market to other doctors who don't want personal injury patients and personal injury attorneys. PI attorneys dominate the marketing in personal injury. The large firms, the billboard firms, have 2,000 to 4,000 active personal injury cases going on at one time. The blue chip mid-level firms have 1,000 to 2,000 active PI cases going on at one time. And the boutique law firms have 200 to 500 active PI cases going on at one time. So we can reach all levels of PI law firms, billboards, blue chip, boutique, mom and pop law firms. They can all send you personal injury patients, because here's the facts. Without documentation and bills, medical documentation and bills, there's no case, right? So here's what we do. Here's the first fundamental. You need a social media plan. Every single attorney is on their phone constantly, 4 or 5 hours a day. Not just attorneys, but people. But we're going to focus on attorneys. So in my program, I show you a process to reach out, not by cold calling, not by email marketing, and not by sending mailers. You may as well, those are what I call phone book strategies. When's the last time anybody used a phone book, right? They don't exist anymore. Those strategies, they exist, but they don't work anymore. So we reach out to 50 attorneys and or doctors a day through the power of social media. And we get in conversations with them. We ask questions, and then we ask if they want to hop on a Zoom call to learn more about our practice, and we can learn more about them, or hopping or a lunch or a tour of your office, a tour of their office. But the process of creating relationships with the people that can send you personal injury cases. So that's the first fundamental, having a social media strategy. Number two is I can help you hire, train, coach, optimize, and track a dedicated personal injury marketing liaison specifically for your practice. Okay? So when you have a marketing liaison, a person, a human walking into law firms, urgent cares, other doctors' offices, meeting the front desk people, the case managers, the paralegals, the attorneys, the doctors, the office managers, and keeping track of that with a method, this is how you really grow and scale your personal injury business, through those direct relationships. Personal injury attorneys that I know love offices with marketing liaisons because it makes it very easy for them to do business with you. They'll just call your marketing liaison or text your marketing liaison. Hey, get this patient in. Here's their name, email address, date of birth, phone number, and let me know when they're scheduled. Or, hey, I need records on Mrs. Jones. I need them by Friday. Can you get them to my office? Quick, we want to settle this case. They use your marketing liaison like they're quasi-employee. So if you're serious about growing a marketing liaison and you really want to get to that next level, you're floundering between 5 new PI patients, 20 new PI patients a month, and you just can't break through that ceiling, maybe it's time for a marketing liaison. Or if you have a marketing liaison and you're not getting more than 20 PI patients a month, your marketing liaison needs help to get optimized so that they can learn some new strategies to get to that next level in the business. Number three, the third pillar, is your communications. And this is going to lead us into our discussion about knowing your hooks. So what are hooks? And so talk about what are the communications. Well, the hooks are designed to address attorneys' pain points. Let me explain. When I ask chiropractors or doctors, tell me why attorneys would send their cases to you, the doctors usually go, well, the patients love it here. We treat them like family. Our office is a boutique style. We get the patients out of pain really quickly. The patient, fill in the blanks. In that conversation right there, we have not handled one single attorney pain points. So by knowing your hooks, the things that come rolling right off your tongue that you can talk about with personal injury attorneys, and this is what I mean by hooks. What are the benefits of working with you? That's a hook. Most doctors talk about their services. These attorneys don't care about your services, kind of. They want to know what value you can bring to them. So here's an example of a hook. Okay, so a hook. Think of it, the hook as a benefit to them. Well, Mr. Attorney, we're going to quarterback this case for you. I've got relationships with orthopedic surgeons, neurologists, neuropsychologists, interventional pain doctors. So when you send me the client for conservative care, we're going to do our best to get them out of pain. And if we can't, we're going to make a proper referral to one of these specialists that are in my network. And I'm always going to communicate with you before I make that referral, because I want to make sure you have a nice relationship with that specialist. So do you see? The benefit is you're going to quarterback the case for them. You're going to manage the case like a teammate. So that's a hook. You can quarterback the case. You're going to get them to other specialists. And the other benefit of the benefit is you are going to communicate this to the attorney, and it shows the attorney that you are reasonable. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a chiropractor in personal injury and you're adjusting somebody for 8 months and you think you're going to get paid on that, that's not very reasonable. Okay, so these attorneys want to know, are you reasonable? So they're looking for reasonable doctors to send their cases to. So that's the first hook. You're going to quarterback the case. Here's an example of a second hook. We're going to quarterback this case for you. And Mr. Attorney, we do things a little differently here. We have the ability to diagnose certain things that are value drivers for the case. A value driver so that you can get policy limits, right? So now these attorneys are listening. Policy limits, yeah, higher settlement offers. Now that's a benefit. And the benefit of the benefit, think about that, the benefit of the benefit, you have value drivers. That's a benefit. A value driver is, let's say you have the ability to diagnose ligament instability of the cervical spine. And you have a third party generate a report, so that third party has no interest in the case. And that report stipulates that this person has ligament instability. If this is left untreated, this could cause long-term disability of the patient and all these horrible things. So now you validated your care, because ligament instability is a value driver. And when I mean you validated your care, if you don't receive this intervention, this medical or chiropractic intervention, the patient can have long-term disability. So that's a value driver for the case. Okay, here's another hook. Mr. Attorney, we're not like other clinics in our area. We have a concussion protocol, right? 56% of concussions are missed in emergency rooms. 80% of concussions are missed in a normal hospital stay. So we have the ability through a questionnaire to help you if your client may or may not have a traumatic brain injury or a concussion. If they do, we give them a test. If they have a concussion, Mr. Attorney, we have a protocol. We're going to send them to a neurologist, a medical neurologist. We have an FDA-approved device that helps us with our diagnosis, and that medical neurologist is going to confirm the diagnosis of a TBI, give you that diagnosis, and give you some treatment protocols, and we'll make the proper referrals for that. Here's the benefit, Mr. Attorney. These insurance companies are getting very little pushback on head injuries or brain injuries, number one. Number two, Colossus really doesn't address the brain and brain injuries. Number three, if this patient, I can get an IME on them, and that IME may be a 5% whole body impairment, but that 5% whole body impairment, if it's of the brain, can get you $1 million settlement. It happened here in Georgia. Do you see how those hooks it hooks the audience in? Your audience is these attorneys. So what are your hooks, right? Maybe you're integrated. You have a PA, a physician assistant in your office that can give injections. So if your soft tissue doesn't work, we also have injections if it's appropriate. Our physician assistant or PA can do injections. Or we have a medical director. We have a chiropractic neurologist on staff. So we have some extra things. These are hooks to get attorneys interested. Attorneys are listening to how you can help them get bigger settlements. So if you know your hooks and you're able to spit them off, just boom, boom, that these attorneys listen, they want to make more money. Here's another good hook. One of my mastermind members, this is what he says. Well, Mr. Attorney, we get 40 unattached cases every month, and we send those unattached cases to our preferred providers. Our preferred providers love our documentation and notes, and they respect our bill. So if I send you an unattached case, I expect my full bill to be paid. I understand if you send me a client, your client, you may have an acquisition cost for your marketing. It may cost you $1,500 to $2,500 to acquire a PI client. But if I send you one of my 40 unattached cases, I expect to be paid in full, and I would appreciate 1 or 2 PI patients sent to me in return. Now, why would you say that? Well, I'll tell you why. In terms of a 1-for-1, you're sending them one, and then sending you one. As far as a human trade, you're breaking even. But as far as a financial trade, it's way off, because the average let's say chiropractic bill in PI is anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000. The average settlement for a PI attorney is $26,000. Okay, so that's another benefit. I have unattached cases to send. If you want my unattached cases, let's start working together. I want you to check out our documentation to find out why these attorneys love sending their clients to us, because we give them a real complete package. And we're going to get you max benefits because we have these value drivers that we can provide when necessary for these clients. Okay, so unattached cases, huge, huge hook. So those are your hooks. What are you going to say to address attorneys' pain points to make them understand you can help them with their business too? Because if you're just a chiropractor and you don't have hooks, you go, well, I don't know, I'm just up the street. Can you send me a client or two, maybe? Patients love us. We have X-ray. I'm kind of just starting out. I really don't know what I'm doing. Dude, that attorney is no longer paying attention because you haven't given him any hooks. You haven't sunk your hooks into him to give him a compelling reason to send clients your way. Okay, so that's another hook. And you may think of some other hooks. We talked about quarterbacking the case, making referrals to specialists and making sure they have a good relationship with them as well. You have value drivers. You do certain things in their office that you know drive the value of the case up. I mean, unless, you know, soft tissue injuries, you got to have good objective findings, you know, MRI, CT scans, x-rays. You got to have objective findings. Here's another hook. Mr. Attorney, in every single one of our notes and all of our documentation, if I say something like, if this is left untreated, it could cause long-term disability, or it could cause early onset dementia, or it could cause Alzheimer's, or it can cause all these bad things, you are going to quote medical journals that back up what you say in your notes, right? I just did a video today where we talk about how you can use artificial intelligence to find all that research on all these musculoskeletal injuries that can cause long-term disability simply by using artificial intelligence. Yeah, so if you know your hooks, be able to riff them off really fast. Attorneys are going to pay attention, and you're going to get personal injury patients by knowing these hooks. Think of it like a hook, story, call to action, right? You get them with a hook, you tell a story. Well, we have this TBI protocol. Let me tell you a story about this one patient we had. They had some musculoskeletal injuries, whiplash, sprain, strain. We took care of that, but they did have a moderate brain injury, which we got them a neuropsych and neurology evaluation. And I recommended to the attorney that he hire a certified life care planner. That certified life care planner put together, well, first of all, he had an IME with a 5% whole body impairment of the brain. We hired a certified life care planner that said this person has a moderate TBI. The certified life care planner is going to put together a 30-page report. In that 30-page report, summarizing here, this patient is going to need X amount of physical therapy visits over the next 15 years. They're going to need X amount of neurology visits, neuropsych visits over the next 15 years, chiropractic care to stabilize their unstable ligament instability. This client is going to need $872,492 of ongoing care over the next 15 years. And the attorney presents that for settlement. Huge value driver. So that happened in our office. A patient with a 5% whole body impairment got $1 million settlement because that 5% whole body impairment was of the brain. And it started in my office with our TBI protocol. That's a big hook. And you just told a story, and the next is a call to action. So, Mr. Attorney, what specifically has to happen for us to get a client from you this week? Call to action. Call my office. Here's my marketing liaison's phone number. Should you need anything from my office, you want to send us a case, here's my marketing liaison. She will take your call. If she's busy, she will call you right back. But she is the one trained to get your client scheduled in her office. There you go. Hook, story, call to action. Use that framework in your conversations with attorneys. You'll become the go-to chiropractor or physician, depending on your specialty, in your area for personal injury patients. So, know your hooks. You're a reasonable person. Get these attorneys excited and willing to work with you, excited to work with you because you're different. You have a point of differentiation. You're not like everybody else because you know your hooks, and you need to be able to rattle them off just like that. Have 4 or 5 of them ready to go in your head so that when you're on Zoom calls, lunches, 80% of the conversation, you're just having a discussion with the attorney. Oh, we're having a great week. You know, I watched a hockey game last night. The Florida Panthers, they won. Hopefully we're going into the semifinals. My daughter, she just had a soccer game last night. We were up till, 11 o'clock at night. She won the championship. It's 80% is just knowing and talking and getting to know you and you getting to know them. But that 10 to 20% of that conversation, know your hooks, right? Quarterback in the case, value drivers for the case, all the protocols in your office that get bigger settlements. You're going to do things that'll get policy limits. You're going to put medical journals, references to medical journals in your notes to back up your notes so that insurance adjusters can't say, yeah, that's not true. Oh, really? You're going to argue with a medical journal? Let's just go to court and see what a jury says because you're arguing with a medical journal where they've done all the work. We'll present that as evidence and crush you in court. So if you liked what you heard today, if you're in the group and you're in the Facebook group, put hooks beneath here. I can send you a replay of this video. Or if you want to talk to me, you can type hooks in there again. And what I can do is set up a 15-minute call with you, figure out your point of differentiation, see if we can work together. And if you want a strategy and a framework to work together to get you from 5 to 10 PI patients a month to 15 to 20 to 20 to 25 to 30 to 50, and then get into my mastermind program where doctors are getting 50 to 100 new PI patients a month. And one of the doctors in that program started with the PI Accelerator program, graduated into the Optimum PI Mastermind program, and that's the guy that's getting 40 unattached cases per month. So you want to earn more in your practice, you got to learn more. And I'm here to help you every step of the way. Again, my name is Mark Slater. I'm here at 4 o'clock Eastern every single Thursday with this live stream, bringing up topics to help you grow your personal injury practice. So we will see you next week. Thank you, everybody.